CVS is removing its recently imposed purchase limits on Plan B. The company says that sales have returned to normal after a surge in purchases following the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade. Meanwhile, some other companies, such as Rite Aid, still have limits in place. So here to talk a little bit more about this is reporter for the Wall Street Journal, Sharon Terlep. Thanks for joining us, Sharon. And I feel like I have to make a clarification. Plan B is not an abortion pill. Plan B stops the fertilization or stops ovulation if it can. If an egg is fertilized, it stops the egg from embedding in the wall of the uterus. That is what it is. An abortion pill is something completely different, just so people know. So we just said CVS has lifted the limits that it had in place. Rite Aid is limiting buyers to purchasing just 3 pills. How was this limit determined?
Sure. I mean, in the immediate kind of days following the Supreme Court decision, there was a rush, especially online purchasing of these. And so companies made decisions, and the ranges varied. So you saw Rite Aid and CVS with 3, Walmart limited to 10. Just their assessment of how they would be able to keep ample supply.
For people who are stockpiling this, what's the shelf life on this?
The shelf life is fairly long. I mean, Plan B usually lasts about 4 years. That's what the expiration date is.
This is something I did not know. There are actually limitations to Plan B's effectiveness, mainly for people who weigh 165 pounds or more. Are there other options for people like that?
Yeah, there are. So studies have shown that if you weigh more than 160 pounds, taking Plan B might not be any different than taking nothing at all. So the alternative, right now it's not recommended that you take additional unless you talk to a healthcare provider. But there's another pill called Ella that you can get via prescription, and that's the recommendation for people who weigh 165 pounds or more.
And so, to another point of clarification, for Plan B, you don't need a prescription. You can just go to the pharmacy and ask for it?
Correct. It's over the counter.
Okay. Are pharmacy corporations expected to impose similar limits on other contraceptive measures?
They're not talking about that right now, and I think that's not in the plans. But we noticed when companies were talking about Plan B, they noted that they kind of reserve the right or often will limit demand when there's a surge. So if there were limits on contraception, you could see certainly that happening.
Okay, so just to talk about sort of one other thing kind of broadly, we're sort of seeing the ripple effect quite quickly of the Roe v. Wade decision, the decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Companies have jumped in, and we're hearing a lot of companies offering to cover travel expenses or other things related to abortions if their employees want to receive abortions and they provide health care. I know there's a range. Can you give us sort of an idea of what some companies are offering right now?
Sure. I mean, there's a range. First off, there's a range in what insurance covers as far as the procedure. Some companies opt for insurance that limits abortion coverage to medical procedures, and then some allow elective abortions. And then the companies are largely it's travel expenses. We're seeing a $4,000 limit is pretty common on travel expenses. Some companies aren't limited, but really it's the coverage and then travel, so hotel and lodging, hotel and whatever you need to travel.
What are some of the factors then that companies are grappling with? Because I thought, I wonder if there are liability issues when you're paying, where you're footing the bill for someone to travel out of state. We don't know if there will be laws in place that will limit people's ability to travel for an abortion. And I also thought about just, privacy, confidentiality issues when it is your employer that is providing you with the finances to get this procedure done.
Sure. I mean, certainly as we talk to legal experts, they say where companies are based in states like Texas, where they have laws against aiding and abetting an abortion, there is potentially a legal risk. So I think that's something a lot of companies are sorting through. Many of the companies that have done this are companies that are based on the coasts in New York or California. And so I think the legal risk is, very real and something companies are considering.
Yeah, bound to be a conversation that will continue. Sharon Terlep, thank you.